What's going on here? Testing 1, 2, 3. Hi everyone. Let's check out that audio. What's going on here? Alright, so 1, 2, 3. Hi everyone. Alright, so audio. Testing. Alright. Just testing the audio. Oh, nice. That sounds good. Alright, so this will be a brief video. Of course, when you're doing it all yourself and doing live unedited, you have to check everything. So anyway, here we are. I am going to do a brief video this time live. If you want to call me, go ahead. I don't normally go live on a Saturday afternoon, later afternoon. 855-434-8787. I'm replacing an SSD. It's showing its age basically. Right there. Basically, a hard drive, mechanically speaking, and an SSD tend to show their age with slowness. That's really the only way you can confirm failure. Even a drive that doesn't test out as being bad, all drives have errors. So transferring large amounts of data are really the only way to estimate the health of a drive. And this particular drive has a cheaper, what is this, a 256 gig Gen 3 NVMe half-sized memory. So obviously it does actually take a full M2. That's why this mount is on it. I've already pulled it out. This is a fairly easy machine to work on. I just did the screws, and it looks like, let's see, oh, there we go. Oh, right. Oh, you know what? I'm so not used to having my down cam here. Oh, I totally rearranged things, and let's see. I've already taken the screws out. Let's see what the easiest way to do this is. And, oh, come on. What kind of computer is this anyway? This is a Samsung, no, it's an IdeaPad s340. There you go. There we go. So I've already done these screws externally to get in here, and there we go. Alright, so as you can see, you could put a traditional 2.5 inch either mechanical drive, which is not installed, or a 2.5 inch SSD, which is not installed, was not in there, won't likely ever be used. But what I did find is that drive I just showed you. It is, I couldn't have gone anywhere. Where did I just go? Ah, it's underneath the replacement. So there we go. There's our drive. So what I just rattled off is the 256 gig or 250 gig PCIe with the adapter I'm going to not need anymore, because here's our replacement. A full-sized, dimensionally full-sized drive is going to install, and we will be happy. Customer will be happy. Yes. Alright, so I've already unplugged the battery, as you can see right here. Oh, no, you can't. Now you can see. Yeah, whenever possible. Obviously, a modern laptop doesn't allow you to unplug the battery until you get in the machine, which is kind of detrimental to a lot of situations, but you really don't want to zap anything. So, here's where our drive is going. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, let's make an effort in not dropping our SSD. There we go. And there we go. Okay, so what I need to do is just screw this in. Oh, this setup is a lot easier to deal with. After. Ah, there we go. Now I need to find, where's that tiny screw? I know I left it here, so, oh, it's so tiny that I can't grab it. Where is it? I do want to still try to get data off of that. Customer did not imply they were backed up. Where is that tiny screw? Ah, there it is. Of course, it's way out of my sight. It's on the other side of the piece of rubber. There we go. And this is pretty much it. The SSD 980 from Samsung was about $100. Tax, it's another $9 or $10. Lovely. I dropped it. There we go. I try to do my job one-handed, but I'm physically not capable of that all the time. So, we're going to do this. Let's see here. I'm having trouble here. You know, sometimes a magnetic screw is detrimental to your actual activity. Let's see here. There. Alrighty, there we go. SSD. Alright, so this is straightforward. I wish all machines were this easy to deal with. I suppose I can't complain when some machines have that memory soldered to the board. But here we are. Now, before I close it up, I'm going to plug the battery in. And yes, you can see what I'm up to. I'm trying to monitor myself. This is my brand new setup, so I think I like it already. I've been spending the last few hours screwing around. Alright, so that's pretty much all there is to physically installing an SSD M2 in an IdeaPad S. What is this? A 2? What did I call this thing? I don't know what they call it. An IdeaPad S340. Alright, so let me get my copy of Windows. Here's my copy of Windows right here. Windows 11. And then, of course, the customer's power adapters right here. Where is it there? Yes, it is. All right. All right. Put this in. There we go. I'm going to plug. This machine's not so old that it doesn't have USB A. Is it? Nope, it's got the two USB A's on the side. So, what we're going to do, move that keyboard out of the way so that we can show off what's going on. Right about there. We will be installing Windows now. Let's see if this works. Oh, that's better. Okay, let's try that. There's Windows. No, there's Lenovo. Let's see if I can get my backlight out of the. There we go. No, not quite. So it's taking a minute to find a bootable source. Most machines are pretty good about defaulting to the USB, even without manually toggling that on and off in the BIOS. One of the advantages of not editing your content is you do get to see in real time what goes on, because descriptions don't necessarily tell the whole story. There it is. It sees Windows. So one of the other upgrades I'm doing is not just upgrading by replacing the defective SSD, but this is one of those Windows 10 machines. So we are going to Windows 11. Next, install. Getting weird texts. Weird. Spam texts. Alright, so this is where you pretend you're a rock star lawyer and you pretend to read it word for word from start to finish. You check the box. And next. Custom. There's your drive. So these aftermarket drives, what I've realized is all the aftermarket drives, what they don't need is a driver directly from the manufacturer. Some of the OEM, like the Optane drives on some of these laptops, by default the Windows installer will not see them, so you have to manually go find them. From Dell or HP, those are two culprits I've had to deal with, where I have to manually go grab the file from the vendor's website and manually drop them onto the installer. It's really annoying, but that's just the way it is. Alright, so next. And there we go. Hurry up and wait. We are installing Windows 11 on an IdeaPad S340. Let's see here. Yeah, so once this is done, I'll screw it tight, and then of course I have a USB adapter so that we can make attempts at getting data off of this. The chances of me getting data off of this are high, since it does a boot. It is a working drive, but there's certain things like slowness, and then the Windows updates aren't happening. So the drive itself is probably dying a slow rate, and these shorter, stubbier SSDs seem to be their failure point is higher than the higher end, faster SSDs. And I'm only going by personal experience. I'm not going by numbers that you can probably research. There might be conflicting numbers that are out there, but I do such a small number of volume, so it's hard for me to have numbers that may or may not align with numbers found elsewhere. I did tell the customer I'd be able to get this done this weekend, so I'm going to do it here. If you've never been here before, this is South Bay Tech Gurus. I'm Chris, and I invite you to give me a call while I'm here and have a conversation. 855-434-8787. I'm just an IT guy. I have a shop here in Manhattan Beach, California, and you need to pay me to do the work for you, or if you want to have a free phone call and our conversation gets technical, you might end up getting a free fix. But anyway, 54% done. Yeah, if all of these installs were this straightforward, life would be easier. Of course, I'd probably be less busy too. Alright, so is this working? Yeah, I think it is. Alright, there we go. 68% done. Yes, I think turning myself around is a lot easier. I gotta figure out what to do with my lighting. I'm still not sure about how to deal with what small space I have. But just turning myself around with the camera and the mixer, this is a smarter direction. Let's see how well this works out. 78%. And I, of course, should start looking for my... oh, you know what? My adapter's outside because I was going to clean up a bit. I got my tools sitting outside. Let me go get it. Let's see. Alright, so there it is. There's your adapter right there. I'll be installing this little memory chip. Just like that. pretty much how that works. Just like that. This little thing has a rubber grommet at the end. I'll just manually hold it. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so it looks like Windows is just about installed. It's going to restart and finalize the first time setup. And this hardware does qualify for the free update to Windows 11. Customer, I'm taking the initiative. I'm taking the executive decision and upgrading my systems, my customer systems to Windows 11 whenever possible. Other professionals and enthusiasts might disagree, since Windows 10 technically will be supported for the next few years, but I really don't want to deal with my customers getting frustrated if some update during that procedure breaks. And frankly, I've been using Windows 11 myself, and I have yet to see anyone deal with any Windows 11 related problems. Getting ready. You can't quite read that, can you? It's a little washed out. Let's see, does that work? A little bit better that way. But then you got... Oh, is that the light coming from the ceiling? Or is that... Can't tell. Yeah, it is. That's not the backlight behind the camera you're looking through. Alright, let's see here. So at this point, I think it's done pulling files off the USB stick. And now we've got a copy of Windows 11 on our IdeaPad s340. Let's see, does it make sense? No, that's about the best I can do. There's our Windows 11. Oh, there we go. I can adjust the camera that way. All right. Cool. So, there's another little trick I've learned in Windows 11. I have found a bug. Windows 11 Home is supposedly not supposed to allow you...
To set up your device using a screen reader, turn on Narrator by pressing Windows plus Control plus Enter. For more accessibility features, press Windows plus U, or select the accessibility icon in the bottom corner.
Well, that's annoying. Anyway, okay, where was I? Now, you see the predicament. I'm the IT professional setting up this machine. Normally, Windows Home anyway, Windows 11 Home requires you to, or supposedly requires you to, log into the customer's or the user's Microsoft account, which is baloney. One, you shouldn't have to deal with that, but Microsoft really wants that. And two, if I'm the hired professional, how am I supposed to continue a full install and configuration without asking my customer for the codes? I don't want to have to ask my customer for their Microsoft login. It's annoying. Technically, it's none of my business, and it's awkward, and customers don't even necessarily know if they have one. It's kind of just a slimy way of getting people to have a Microsoft account, even if they never deal with Microsoft's Live Drive or their 365. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit yes, and then, no, we don't need another keyboard layout, skip. And now this is where it says, hey, let's get connected. And this is where we're going to pull the memory stick out that has Windows 11 on it. And I am going to, see, here's the deal. Most of the machines I deal with have, well, these Ultrabooks, they don't have room for physical RJ45 connectors. So I often just leave my $10 Amazon Basics USB adapter, which converts Ethernet to USB. So because this is USB-A, this machine is old enough. It has a USB-C, but it also has the legacy USB-A port, which will allow me to get it online. So I'm just going to plug that in. And there we are. And I'm going to wait for it to say it's connected. And now it says it's connected. And now I'm just going to hit next. And now I'm going to remove that Ethernet connection because that's all we needed to trick the home edition of Windows 11 into giving me a local account so that I, as the professional, can finish setting up this machine without having to bug the customer for their password. All right. And of course, now I have to look up his name. Morgan is his name. No password for now. He can do that later. I can walk him through it if needed. I'm just going to hit next and accept. And after this, I'll do the updates. And then I'm going to make his drive, his old drive that's failing, a USB drive, which I technically already have, plug it in, and hopefully it gives us all his goods. Yes. So this machine potentially could be a faster machine because we all know how stock memory devices in our computers tend to be the lower end, slower stuff. So there might be a bottleneck we've released by installing the M2 from Samsung, the 980. There we go. Here's the box for the replacement. If you've never been here before, you've stumbled across an IT guy who likes to go live and invite conversation, you can give me a call at 855-434-8787. There we are. This might take a few minutes. We are almost there. Again, this is going to be a brief video. I only have time to do this. This is the only computer where the customer is expecting the machine today. I actually told him I wouldn't have it ready until Monday. But, you know, the trick of the trade is recognizing Amazon's little tips of... basically, I was able to get his memory delivered to the local Whole Foods instead of having it shipped to me. If I had it shipped to me, I would have had to wait until Monday. So because there's a Whole Foods 2 miles from here, not even 2 miles, I was able to get it next day by having it delivered to Whole Foods. So I would be doing this work Monday, but if I can get rid of it and off my desk today, then we're good. Okay, good. So now that we're logged in, now I do want it online, since we don't have to worry about being shoved into a Microsoft account. So now I'm going to give it my password. Next. So now it's online, and now what I like to do is the updates. Now it's actually connected, and now I hit the settings, and now I hit the Windows updates, and now it's set. It checks. All right. Let's check the audio again, huh?
All right, so just testing the audio. Oh, nice. That sounds good. All right, so this will be a brief video.
All right, so there we go. We're just doing all the updates. Hurry up and wait. Anyone with two good hands can do this. And there we go. It's installing some updates. That's why it went ding, ding. It found some sort of hardware update. Probably the graphics, because the screen just flinched. The device is missing important security updates. Please make sure you keep your device on and plugged in so your updates can complete. Hurry up and wait. That's the name of the game today. All right. Oh, I so much love. This is so much better than prior setups. I still have to figure out what I'm going to do about a couple wires that are draped across the threshold here. Because right now you have to duck under the cables. But I think I'll be able to fix that. I have to buy some new, some sort of way to strap the cables to the ceiling. Because the computer's on the opposite side of the room, sorta. Here we go. Okay, so this machine is technically fixed. Now all I have to do is screw in, lock down the bottom plate. And then of course I'll USB Okay, so the reason I'm not doing this right now, getting memory stick content off of this, is because I want these updates to happen to make sure it's fast and that I'm taking full advantage of all the updates. I have learned the hard way that if I try to do some of these updates while plugged in, sometimes the USB driver gets interrupted and the transfer drops off. So if I try to do this while doing updates, well, then I'm not just being inefficient, it flat out cuts off the transfer. So I may as well wait until all the updates are done. And that's why I do the updates first rather than getting excited, plugging this in, and potentially taking longer because the most optimal drivers are not yet available or installed. So, little tricks you learn with experience. No matter how experienced I am, I will always have more to learn. And that's one of those experiences I've had to learn the hard way. Couldn't figure out why the transfer drops off. And then I realized, oh, the updates must have messed with the USB. Actually, let's see if this drive even populates. Sounds like it. So this drive was only a 250 gig drive. Let me see here. Little goofy tricks here to make the job work here. There. Okay, let's see if that drive shows up. Go to this PC. And it's not showing up. It's not showing up. Okay, so the drive is not giving us... It is show... Okay, so let's try this again. How annoying. Maybe I wasn't waiting long enough. Just want to see if it populates, because this is part of the problem. How annoying. You know what I think I'm going to do? Let's restart. Finalize some of these updates. Alright. We're almost there. This machine is, for all intents and purposes, usable, minus its data. Let's see how this behaves. Read speed, 3,500 megs per second. Megabytes. There we go. Let's try and it's doing some updates.
Hey guys.
Okay, well, normally it takes a little longer. I'm wondering if my failed drive is the reason this thing is taking longer to boot. It might just be that the updates are pending. There we go. Updates are underway. Please keep your computer on. Yeah, I personally haven't had many issues with Windows 11. There's certain cosmetic differences or upgrades that they've changed. Like when you right click, copy paste is actually hidden. You have to go to the very bottom of the menu and have it show the entire list of options. It's kind of annoying. And I haven't really done much research into fixing that, but I'm sure something like Classic Shell or something installed can easily fix it. Those are some noisy bikes coming. Alright. Okay, so now it's rebooting after a few updates. We should have an even more complete setup and a more effective, a more efficient setup. Okay, so there we go. So now let's again see if we can get this drive to populate. But let's do some settings because I'm pretty sure we're not done with the updates. See, attention needed. Yeah, what I've learned is that even Windows 11 being pretty new, you still need to restart this thing several times upon initial installation. Look here, you can see how it says local account. Normally a home edition doesn't allow you to do that. They really want you, like if you can't get around it on Wi-Fi, but with Ethernet you can physically remove it. Okay, so his drive is not populating. Let's see here. This drive is not populating. That's part of the problem. So what I might end up doing is plugging this drive back in the machine to see if I can get it to behave differently. That's one of those things where it'll drive you nuts because some of these drives will behave differently based on their the way they fail. Like this drive was a bootable drive, but apparently when you try to get it to mount through USB, it doesn't want to. That's actually a common problem with a failing drive. Let's see here. Do I just have to let it sit for a second? It is getting warm to the touch. Yeah, and it's fairly warm to the touch. More warm than I would say is a normal operating temperature. It's fairly warm. My thumb is warmed up. Now what I'm waiting for is that D that you see on the screen to actually show us an approximation of how much data is on the drive. Because right now, if it doesn't go any further, well then, yeah, we got problems. Well, the customer's got problems. What I'll probably end up doing is, yeah, like I just said that, I'll reinstall that drive and hopefully, if I need to, drag data off slowly. I'm going to let this sit for a minute. All right, you know what? I'm going to cancel. I'm going to end the video now because I really don't have that much else to offer. Basically, this was a fairly straightforward, simple SSD install. SSD 980 on a IdeaPad S340 running Windows. Well, it did have Windows 11 on a defective SSD, so we replaced the SSD and installed Windows 11. Give me a call, 855-434-8787.